Okay, so my parts haven't arrived from America yet. When I say that, the dash, the AC, the electric windows and everything else. So I got bored and started working on the rad support and aircon. So as you can see, I got the front grille roughly mocked up. I've got the air condenser and the radiator back here out of my 2000 VT Commodore. And the reason I did that, well, we just don't get the plethora of Corvettes and Camaros like you do in the States, so I'm using something that we get a lot of over here in New Zealand. So let me just quickly remove the two bolts holding the front end on, and I'll show you what I've done. And presto, two bolts and the front bumper was removed. Literally all I had holding it on was that one and one here, which also helped hold all of that together in one piece. So what I've done here, I've decided, and excuse the shitty tack welding because I am not a welder, I know how to make some bird shit, but a round tube, which I just happened to have a pipe of lying around, happened to have the exact right size for what was previously sitting on the bottom. So at the moment they're just tack welded onto the lower rad support bracket, just two little uprights, one on either side, and I've just finished mocking up these, which are the upper supports, which is going to have a piece of metal goes in that flap, and then I'll probably just bolt it onto this panel here, so the piece of metal will come up and go across, but it'll be longer this way, so it'll just slide in, and then I can just bolt it into that slam panel and help hold all of that, and I can get rid of my bungee cord, which we'll do now temporarily. Oh yeah, condenser, that used to come around and sit up over here. At the moment I've just bent that around and stuffed it under here. I'll probably end up leaving it there or thereabouts, mounting it onto this bottom pipe for the slam panel, but I'll let the air conditioning experts take care of all of that. So with the magic of pause, I will do the next one. And so yeah, there we go, my two braces, 1, 2. I might even just put a little bracket or a little bit of something back onto these two crosses just to help give it a bit of upward strength, but it is only an air conditioning condenser, so it doesn't need a hell of a lot. For the radiator, what I've done, there was the original, what I'd call a C channel that run up inside of this, that there was 3 screw holes in that used to have the radiator bolted to it. Well, I did some quick measurements, and as you can see, by cutting that out, I have got an almost dead ringer for the size that I need to put my radiator in. Now it is sitting a little bit low yet, so I do need to lift it up just a tad. But what I've had to do is I cut the bottom bungs. If I can get my camera in there, here's my torch actually, hang on. So there's the bolt for the core support coming through, and then there's the bolt for the radiator that wants to sit directly on top of it. Again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make an L bracket on the inside of this so that it comes back, and just I can bolt it on and it'll allow it to sit on that little nubbin right there above it. So that'll give me my bottom, and then I'll figure out, oh yeah, I've got these things here which mount on there, and then that will just have again a little C-section coming back onto this here or in the panel. I'm not too sure yet, haven't decided, but that's my 2000 VT Holden Commodore twin fan, aluminium radiator and air condenser, basically fitted in the 58 Apache. Have the water box as well. So that's the original water box, which tees off into the factory heating system over here somewhere there. I'm going to have that on the inner guard. I'm going to cut a little bit more out of this, but what I am going to do is run a piece of flat alloy plate just to the inside of the chassis rail, up, and then have a flat coming across. So basically I have a nice square engine bay compartment, and I'll be able to hide things like that underneath the alloy, and the ECU here, so the ECU can run down to the chassis rail, come across with the gearbox cross member, and then back up, so all the bulk of the wiring for this lot will be hidden, and really all you'll see will be the injectors and the coils coming through. And then the same on this side, as I said, but rather than having the battery mounted on the firewall there and there, I'm going to take the battery from that way and turn it around this way and slide it slightly forward of the hinges, so it'll be hidden underneath the one that comes up off here and across to that inner guard. So yeah, that'll keep it all nice and clean under the engine bay, especially once I've got that throttle body in there. Someone also asked about my Swaybar, my C4 Corvette Swaybar that I'm running. So that's the factory Swaybar there. That's the drop links from Don at Flat Out Engineering, which bolt into the lower arm, or through the lower arm. And there's about an inch of clearance between the inside of this tyre and that Swaybar link at full lock. Keeping in mind that that is some godly unknown BMW offset that's just temporarily on there, but with a 0 offset rim and tyre at 8 inches wide, which is what I'm hoping for, this will actually come out about another inch from my calculations, giving me 2 inches of clearance down there, so that's heaps. And what have we done in here? Bugger all, because we haven't got anything in here yet. It's stored in the container. Steering column from a, I want to say a 90s, early 90s Cutlass or Buick or something or other, I don't know. Got given to me at the moment because it's had the lower mount cut off it, so I was going to see if it fitted through my firewall. It's automatic on the tree, wipers and all that stuff, so yeah, we're going to play around with that. And then further back here, what do we got? All I've done here is tap in the fuel line and the brake line, so you can see there's one brake line there, there's a fuel line one just underneath that, and there's another fuel line just over there. You can just see the silver, but they're tapped out every 300mm. They're all tapped out onto the back of here, so the fuel lines are all nicely protected. And basically I just got to finish a heap of wiring back here, but again, still waiting for the ship to arrive from America. So that's where we're at. Slightly longer video, but hope that helps.